today we are going to do a step-by-step constructive human anatomy demonstration from line of gesture all the way to the basic rough anatomy sketch. This is part of my Making Comics and Zines class taught through Nashville Community Ed, and I'd like to thank my class as well as my patrons on Patreon for making videos like this possible. These just would not be a thing without their support. So the materials we're using for today's demonstration are a piece of mixed media paper, as well as a scant handful of tracing paper, a color pencil, and we're also going to use some washi tape to create our layers. And this is, again, just a demonstration. It's not something that you necessarily have to replicate. It's just to give you a good idea of how I construct figures and how I build them up in stages. So we're going to begin with our line of action. I'm going to do something nice and sort of fluid. I'm going to try to work quickly because I have an idea in my mind. And if I work slowly, I'll lose it. And usually what I would do is I would just start rendering on top of this layer. But I want to create kind of an interactive demonstration for my students in my class and for you guys. So I'm going to take it step by step. So the next thing I do, and I'm not referencing this and maybe I should, is I kind of block in the figure using kind of a rectangular shape. Then I start doing the skeletal form. So I begin, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing a little better. I begin with an egg shape to indicate the rib cage. I begin with an ellipse to indicate the neck. I draw the line of action on the rib cage. Then I do kind of this egg or bucket shape for the pelvis. Next, I'm going to block in the arms and legs, and sometimes I will do lines of gesture for that as well. Actually, and watch me revise. I want to do this arm up just because I have more room over here. Now have this leg pointing out, and at this point I'm more focused on doing nice fluid movement. So I drew a bow for the shoulder, like the collarbone where the two shoulders connect, and I gestured, but y'all can't see it. Now, as well as the pelvis, which I kind of indicate with like a wheel axle. And if there's any step in this process that you guys need me to explain in more detail, be it the axle of the pelvis or the shoulder, and draw that in various views, or the feet or the hands, let me know in the comments below. I also block in the feet using simple little triangles. Next, I block in where the head's gonna go, and it starts with just kind of a line. And again, most of this would be done on one layer if I weren't doing this for demonstration. I'm also kind of curious how many individual steps I go through when I'm drawing a figure. Next, I block in the head, and I do that just using we start with a circle, but it becomes a sphere. Now, I have kind of the basics of everything drawn. I can start tightening up my figure, and I have so many layers that I've started to kind of lose what I've done. So this is a good time to take a break and tighten. So I tighten up the neck, and redraw the rib cage just because I can't really see it, as well as the lines of action. Now, when I'm thinking about it, an extended arm and then an arm that's up, I should fix the gesture on the rib cage. I'm just kind of redrawing all of this so I can see what I'm doing. And I can kind of tighten it up. Okay, so then I place the breasts, and If I was drawing a male figure, I would place the pecs, but I'm female. I like to draw women, so I'm going to draw a woman. One of the handiest tips I'd ever seen, I think I saw this from another artist on YouTube, I'll try to dig it up, is you can use kind of a heart shape in order to place where your breasts go on your figure. And I'm just doing cartoony anatomy, so there's no need to get more detailed than that. And I'll go ahead and indicate where she's looking using a sphere and then kind of a shovel or a spade front. Also thinking about push and pull, having nice flow. Actually, I would do like that. And then this one has the long. Trying to have nice flow going on. Then I start using cylindrical shapes and ellipses to kind of block in the legs. And I learned how to do human anatomy by reading two really wonderful books. You hear me mention them a lot on this channel when I'm doing figure drawing. Andrew Loomis's Figure Drawing for All It's Worth, and Glenn Vilppu's The Vilppu Drawing Manual. He has a lot of videos here on YouTube, a lot of demonstrations that I really recommend you check out if you enjoy figure drawing. And I start to sketch in the leg. So when I'm first kind of capturing the gesture of the figure, I'm not really concerned about the proportions. I really want to capture the movement. And as I refine the figure, I'll fix the proportions. Sort of thinking already about a hand gesture. And when I'm drawing for comics, believe me, I don't think this much about push and pull. I think more about character acting and trying to convey what the characters are doing without necessarily relying on words. You know, if I'm drawing Kara lifting a bucket, I don't want her to have to say, all right, Ma, I'm lifting the bucket. I want you to know she's lifting a bucket. And I'm still sticking with the two types of triangles here. And I've just kind of used very basic gestures to sketch in the hands. And then this would be the stage where I really start to tighten things up. And that's kind of why I redrew everything, so I could see what I was doing. So I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing on the face. And I know I do have videos on drawing the head, and I've promised more, so I need to get on that. But we've drawn two lines kind of bisecting the face, as well as kind of taking a little slice off our sphere. And that's because where our ears are and our jawline, it's a little bit flatter. And you can see this demonstrated really beautifully in Bridgman and Hogarth's anatomy books. I'll link those down below. Really recommend you guys check at your local library. All right, so I'm sketching in the eyes and the eyebrows, and with these circles over the eyes to indicate where the eyebrows go. I learned that reading Drawn to Life, which is Walt Stanfield's 2-volume series on sort of drawing and thinking for animation. I highly recommend that, especially if you're a comic artist. I have bisected the top of her headline and her eye line. This is where the hairline is going to go. And then halfway down is where the nose would go, and then halfway down again is where the mouth would go. And then down there is where the chin would go. Trying to decide whether I want to add another sheet or if I just kind of want to work here. So we have the basics of her face sketched in. And then we just start tightening from here. So since I started cartoony, I'll finish cartoony with some simple, very cartoony eyes, simple cartoony nose, simple cartoony lips. You got the lower lip. Now, your ear generally goes from the top of your eyes to the bottom of your nose. Depending on the art style you have, you can make it kind of lower. You can make it a little more rounded. It's really up to you. You may decide you want to give her a little more cranial space. Since we drew the eyes and the eyebrows really big, you may want to accommodate for that, especially if you also draw very cartoony. Sketch in her hair. Of course, the problem with sketching color pencil is we can't erase when we make mistakes, so you guys are just gonna have to forgive me. The nice thing about it is it's nice and dark on camera. Sometimes I will reconfigure things a little bit as I sketch. And often I'll reference my own hands and arms. And in a few other videos I've talked about reference. Ain't no shame in using reference, especially if you get a stronger drawing. And I'm going to draw her in a leotard. That arm's a little long. Arm should hit about, unless you're monkey armed like me, my arms almost go all the way down to my knees. But really they should hit mid-thigh. And I sort of gesturally sketch in the hand before I kind of commit to a shape for it. And then you can opt to make the legs as muscular or as thin as you like. Now, really, I lost a lot of my line of gesture. She's kind of straightened up a lot in this, which is a shame. Continue with the sort of wedge shape for her feet. That's like a weird Sailor Scout pose. This hand is it needs to be looser and more delicate, but you know, whatever. That's fine for a quick drawing demonstration. So I'm going to end up stapling this off camera. I'm not going to do that to you guys right now, but we'll take a couple of paper clips and we're going to count how many layers I go through. And I could go through another layer with this and tighten it up even more. Like if I wanted to ink this, then I would slap another piece on and pencil it and get nice and tight. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I kind of have 9 discrete steps where I'm thinking about things, I'm reevaluating things, I'm considering what I'm doing. And this is not even there's lots I could fix, but we're not going to go over that. Like her head should be further over there, but whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much for drawing. I hope you were drawing along, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope going through this step-by-step for you guys kind of illuminated my process. I know in some of my drawing tutorials, things get kind of crammed together. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see me draw, anything you'd like help with, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to help. And I hope I see you guys again really soon. So have a great day, guys. Bye.